Hello and happiest of days to each of you folks. Hope you guys are having an absolutely amazingly awesome day today. One of the best you've ever had in your entire life, right? All up and down the box for you folks. Alrighty, so today I'm doing my 17th Let's Play for Planet Coaster 2's Fantasyland that I've created as a sandbox mode with the finances turned on for you folks, so you can check out that stuff and get that on for you folks. They recently, about a month ago, released a DLC called the Sorcery Path, which is the first DLC that has a fantasy theme ever, from any of the various tycoons to my knowledge. That sort of a thing too. I grew up playing all the roller coaster tycoons and then all the other stuff too, starting with roller coaster tycoon 2. After finishing up that stuff, because fantasy was my favorite genre growing up as a kid, I created something I called This Fantasyland, and that's sort of a thing too but it's a little harder, right? I don't just do it for free, right? And that sort of a thing too. And then this is subdivided into 12 different sections in this huge sprawling park for you folks. And then, so I figured, and then I've done that every game I've played, just for fun here with things like Architect, Coaster 1. That sort of thing too. And so I figured since they did that, I would go ahead and do some Let's Plays of that too. Alright. And so here in my opening here with all the things are blue and pink, those are the colors of girls and boys. Well, boys and girls, other than that color, in that order, which so that's all the fairy tale theme stuff, with storybooks and kid rides, right, and that sort of thing. So I started with the slowest amount of money possible, and everything on full 100% costs. So on the first day, I did build this teacups ride and this merry-go-round. For here too wasn't making money. So the next day I figured getting coasters would bring in the folks. So I did this True Coaster, which is also released in this DLC, as well as this chairs. Both of them start to bring in the people and money. Unfortunately, that loan again was just basically paying for it, so I wasn't making any money. So I took out a loan for this flying theater here, also introduced in this coast too. Wasn't making money, and then took it off of an episode just to spend decorating the park and getting out with money. After that, I then went ahead and took out a loan for this big wheel, thinking that it might get me some good money, but not really that much, and that sort of thing too. And then after that, I started doing this star wheel here, and then after that, I took out one for this wooden coaster called Splintering, that I did rechange this thing to something more storybook. This is the Lion Splinter, which is from the Lion Spot, and that sort of thing too, which is a myth by Aesop. Sort of thing. I thought that this higher quality, it's all ages, no question about that. But you can definitely see that there too. And we would bring in some folks and that sort of thing too. And you can see it actually does make some money for me too here. But $8. That sort of a thing too. And then after that, I then used the money that I brought into this bumper cars here too, and this sun flare. And then I had about 13,000 after waiting a couple of hours and days and such. And then I decided to try and add about 95. Then sort of finish out this area of my park in the opening section with this ride down here, which is called it's a spinning mouse. Those are also something to really for more kids, about all ages. It has a huge numbers. I call it 3 blind mice, and that sort of thing too. And this has got great ratings too, but nobody was spending any money on it. Fortunately, it's like one of those swoops. And then after taking out that huge loan, that definitely put me behind the block, and that sort of thing too. So I figured instead of doing that, I would just go ahead and knock out a few more flat rides, about 9,000 the next week. That sort of a thing too that might give me the money again, and they did. Those were the Tilt-A-Whirl, the 3D spinners, and then also which is also a based on it's a Grimm's fairy tale, and then this Twister 2, which is very important, and that's about $10. And then over here, just tiny on it too. 4 Pixies Peak, and then again making money. Came in about 19,000, and I wanted to finish off this opening section with tons of great theming and that sort of thing to finish out. And that sort of thing too, about all the shops that you can see down there from that restaurant down here too, as well as even stuff over there like the chairs that I do. No, I was actually making money, bringing it in, and because of how great in detail and decorate all those things were, we began to make money. So I felt like that's now done. This section over here is for our transport. But so I figured it was now time for me to open up Flatride. It's the water part. Next one, a little deeper. And since we got pools now and the fisher too, we added that too. So the first thing I built over here is this log flume to bring in people. And that sort of thing had two. This has decent numbers. Yeah, high force. But then making a lot of money, about $20 a ride. That's sort of a high ride, right? So that's good. And that sort of thing too. And then I also spent some time building up some of this infrastructure. So here for Atlantis, I'm using this aquatic themed center that you're seeing here and there too. And then after that started bringing money, I then opened up this pool in one episode. The next episode, I then started to build some of these other ones. I started off with this one, which I rebranded Kraken's gave it some Kraken themes, that sort of thing too. And then after that, I then opened, and then that day too, I also opened up these two erasers over here too. And then after that, you see over was done. On the next day, I then opened up this Titan strap here. See here, and then also, I tried to place this one, but couldn't find a good place for it. There was one that I built in the previous game and saved in the career mode that I did first. And then I also put here too, that third one here too, and then yesterday I finished out all of this set of water fluorides here, and that's my 7th one done. For you folks, and then I started to build this chair ride. Well, not chair ride, flat ride, and that sort of thing too. And this is this is one that comes themed with the game. I said, and it's actually called I can't remember its name. What was it again? Was it something with a lagoon name in it? Hold on a second. It's a water flat ride. Oh, here. Aquatic. It came with aquatic things too. Sorry, I can spell aquatic right so that. It is the one here. Yeah, Monsoon Tree is it, yep. And then I just swapped its name over to something a little more Atlantean Monsoon Tree. No, that's not the first one. Here, I'll just show you here. Last night, I was playing just flipping around here. For you folks, these are called the Oracle's Flood. For you folks, also gave it an trim around here out in the front, which is actually really nice and even. And then you can also check out here. You can see we have about almost $30. That's great money, and that's because it's the female because it's the best rack. See how much money you start bringing in from that. So I think that's great stuff. And that sort of thing too. And then you can see everybody wants to ride that too. So we got some big stuff too. Also, one of the issues we were having was not a lot of food or water. And that sort of for drinks and shopping too. So over here, I did build all of the remaining. Each day, we might build 1 or 2 of each over here to see if that sort of ended those issues. Then I built these over it. And this is the last shopping place, this building place. Here, let me see if I get a better line of sight for you folks. Here, there we go. Is this building place right here on the far left. And I named it River Floods because it's right next to the river ride. And I thought that would be good. And then over here, it's a hot dog stand, which I named Siren Skewers, if I remember right. It's showing up on the shops over there. Let me see if I can zoom in better for the folks. Yep, Siren Skewers. Right. and diet soda place and a sushi place. For vegan place, the mermaids meat illustrator. It's nice. The diet soda is, I think, named Siren Soda. Something like that. Siren Soda. If I remember. Siren Soda. Yeah. And then the sushi one over here, I just built the last thing I built. Then I shut it down. I didn't continue to go. And that's sort of the thing too. In that place is called Siren's Sushi too. You see, I like to lean on this already thing over here. You also got lots of weird base area on the side and Krakens. Sort of a thing too. Or even Triton. This place is too for you folks. Alright. You see it. So there you go for you folks. Oh, I'm sorry. That was weird. For you folks. So let's check in over here to see how my demeanor might have changed from that. Here are my needs checking in yesterday. Although again, it's been like maybe a couple. I haven't even given it probably like an hour of actual gameplay. Well, gameplay is the hour of them taking some time off. I'm not including them too. Alright, here you go. So you can see over here what my needs are still have some hunger and thirst, and there are also tons of souvenir need to do. And that's everything too. For you folks. I'm having a sip of soda, by the way. I was just wearing a suit and tie for a meeting, and I'm super hot, and I definitely will be drinking on just so that for you folks. Alright, so now you can definitely see their needs over here. Well, also while I'm here too, let's get the last piece of technology for you folks. Okay. And this is not all the coasters are done, all the track rides are done, all the water is done, all the transport, flat rides, and fleets are done. All great stuff, but not the last power source station. So you can check it out here. It's only 3,600, so that won't take that much. And there we are. All the tech is good to go for you folks. Also, I did build a couple of things over here. You can see over here, since this was the other side of the pool, I only here built a bathroom previously over here too, but then I built another of these saunas. I'm sorry, here, places for people to get dry, and then a changing room over here. The changing room, I did change its name to Neptune's Wardrobe. I don't think that was the right thing. I thought that was going to be, I thought I changed its name to something else. Yeah, because Neptune's Wardrobe, I just copied it from another place. And it just kept that name. It should be Atlantean. It's Atlantean something. Atlantean tires. So, that's it. I wasn't able, I was thinking about some different things, might be more alliterative, or just puns, and that sort of thing over here too, for the dry, and for this, so I just changed it to the drying room while trying to come up with a different one. Like this was like the first one that I changed was Dry Atlantis, and then the second one that I built was Siren's Sushi. Not Siren's Sauna, sorry, Sushi was the one I just did. Sort of a thing too. You know, I have talked about this before. I actually have a medical disability called Huntington's disease, and so I'm not able to physically do as much stuff, right? And that's sort of a thing too. And so, as a result, you know, if you see me, you know, and so you've seen me mistie, misclick, and that sort of thing too, all the time. And so, typically for those reasons, I will typically just use pre-built coasters right here, and that sort of thing too. And then sort of theme them later. And then also sometimes we'll even grab them from the workshop. And I've also done that for scenery too. Now, one thing, so I did do in order to sort of designate that they were Atlantean leaving Atlantis for you folks. The problem is that the opening area I'll show you real quick. The opening area does have tons of fairy tale scenery for that section that's in the game that I can definitely use it. And that sort of builds off of that for you folks. It gives 550 characters. But the game didn't come with like any blueprints and that sort of thing too, right? And so that is why I was using a lot of these ones from online places, right? They'll be downloaded while I was playing. These over here are by TOTS 84. That's sort of the thing too, right? And so you can definitely check it out too. And so if you see, when looking at the blueprints, if you see this circle, that means it comes from somewhere along the wall. Right? And if you see something else like with a check mark, I don't. There were some of those in the forum section, if you recall, because I built some in a previous. Right, there's actually a place called in the coaster section. I'm sorry, in the career section of the coaster that has. It's called I think it's called reverse sticks, where you just constantly have to build your own forms to show you how it works. Right. So they do those. But they typically just aren't right. You can see. Flying Valve is one of the ones that have been previously. So now we're going to build the next thing. Warrior focus. So I have a couple of options. One, that Flatride made me tons of money. And that's the thing too. It was very easy to build. And for Warrior folks, I could do that too, right? All up and down the box for Warrior folks. And even the aquatic style. It's a water theme ride. And that sort of thing too. But here's what, and also I did want to show you some bias that's in the game too here, just so you'll be coming into it if you start playing. Flatride's here, impulse customs, 47, and that includes a pack that had 10. Coasters. Yep, there are like way more coasters than Flatrides in the game. That's with a pack of these deals that include 10 free ones. That's sort of a thing too, right? It's got a coaster in the game, so how about sort of building your coasters, right? And that other thing too. Now you can see my rating there in the corner is a 5.0, or a favorite part. And so you can see tons of people coming in and bringing in within that cache, right? And that sort of thing too. And so now I don't need to build something that has a lot of money attached to it, right? That's not something I have to do anymore. Just a heads up. But here, now that I'm here in Atlantis, I was thinking about building another coaster. It's a water shot. And that sort of a thing too. So let's check it out. We got 5 water coasters that I can build right over here in the Atlantis side. I think it's just we get raw food. And that sort of a thing too. So I could build, let me sort them up on model, but just really fast. We've got the splash coaster, the water coaster, and that is for all ages, which is nice. And then over here, the water coaster for the Big M's rides. And that's also, it's not for all ages, unfortunately. And the next one is this long one. It's called the Antique Water Coaster. It's pretty cheap, it's for all ages, which is pretty nice. And then this next one over here is the Almax water coaster too. And then that is for all ages too. So that was kind of nice. It's also pretty pricey though. Then the last one here is this splash. For you folks, it's a little, it's only for teens and adults, but yeah, it's actually not that pricey. And that sort of thing too. So let's build up blueprints of this. See what we got over there. So you folks, these can, if I recall correctly, they're pretty pricey, but we got money to play for. So I don't think that'll be an issue. From here, for the blueprints, just for those. And here we go. Let's build our second coaster. So the most expensive coaster is Brief, right? It's a lot. It's at 5.7. But with a 57 cash. But the excitement isn't the best in the world. But we had the money. We can totally build that there too. Also, one of my themes, one of my parks is going to be pirates. We got pirates. We've got gothic horror tradition, epic fantasy, urban fantasy. What's it? It's urban fantasy myth. Will be over here, and that sort of thing. Too. So if you felt that the reef wasn't something that would work for here because of the theme, it would work for that section, the parts. Too. Because parts do have lots of fantasy themes to it. Crody is about 41k, and it's also got a lot of similar assignment too. Excitement too, sorry. And that's one of the two hands, but it's a little cheaper. And this one again, 4.3 out of 3 to 4.17. And that's a lot tradition. And then right here we have Artemis. Artemis would totally make sense here, although you might consider it a flavor file, more the myth section, right? But yeah. I think many people probably would be interested. And you can also see it's got tons of great ratings there too. Right? 6.6. 6. That is huge. Great stuff, right? I think that'll be pretty good with that. A big draw to Maple Tennessee money. Although again, everybody's coming in. I got my population. Next over here is the Tidal War. This is a splash coaster for 35k bits and maybe a 3 point force for it. And the next one is Tiebreaker 2. This is the antique water coaster too. And that sort of a thing too. So all of those are and that's about 25k, about 3.7. So 25 for 3.73. And then here we go. 35 for 3.48. Wasn't there what happened? I thought there was a roller coaster that was called Rodeo, right? I think it would have been good to put it. Is it here? The road? No. It is here. Is that one was to look at? That's the 40. Okay. And that's sort of the thing too, slightly less than if that was to be about earlier. Yeah, so the one with the best numbers, but a little cheaper, or the one that's just looks like it's probably going to be a big giant. Right, this one over here. Reef break, Rodeo proper, and that's sort of the thing. Or our Artemis, look at it here in the middle. Artemis, Rodeo, or Reef break, and all three of those, with that theme, I think would work here. So this one over here on Reef break, all is a. How big it is on the map. Or if it looks because it's just giant, you should probably don't want to do it. Zoom out a little bit too. As max zoomage. Alright, so I can put it here. Although, again, I want to keep that extra space. Typically, for transport rods, if I need to put a reef break there, I'll put a reef break there. It's not the longest coaster, I don't think it's just going to get people off on and off. And that's a really thing I do. And that, here or that place too. It's not right. It's just a little flat. It's just a little long rather than deep. Let me try over here just to make sure. See that much too. It's again not the worst in the way, but because it's not all H's if I remember correctly. Yeah. I could go right there. That's not bad. Reef break. Let's commit and knock that out. testing it to that. Over here, starting to connect this bad boy up. For you folks. I might want to have gotten out a little closer to the road, actually. Although the good part about it, I'm not sure about it being back here, is that I do have lots of space here for rolling. That's understandable. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Well, do that. It's fine. Yeah, look at you. More pop. Just a heads up. It's actually Dr. Sorcery. So let's go ahead and zoom in here and let's start the stuff taken care of for turn right. Now, normally over here, I would have built, as you can see with this Atlanta thing, here, I've got this road over here. I kind of like that mosaic square. Or I could just go ahead and keep that road over here too, which is also the worst idea. I'll just go ahead and choose this one and get it again. So I'm going to pull off that real fast, double click on unpath. And then go over here to this section here, customize. And then copy existing texture. Folks, and that should go ahead over here to the and pencil. Well, that's weird. That's I'll do it over here. You can see my road roof with your pencil, but I'll do it there. Because I have to do. Sorry, people that don't like bendy. Now the cube, the hue font happiness and joy. Now the default cube is this one time. Problem is that there aren't as many cubes as there are now. So I'll just go ahead and come back. Oh, so sorry. I should click on this. Get this taken care of for you folks. That was weird. I'll just try to do it this section. Here, reef break. Reef break. Get your brake on. This reef. Try this. I'll just copy this way this time. And I'm not gonna see how it's got that nice bone. Yeah, it's gonna be hard for me to replicate that quickly. And for you folks, so I'm just gonna do this in the normal style. Copy the existing event, the copy section for you folks, and now we're just gonna place it. Get our cue on the stop. Yeah, I gotta do this as soon as possible, sorry. Alright. Now, let's check it out. So the first thing we're gonna do is to do the test run and ride this thing. So here we go. Ride the ride. this is, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and speed it up a little for you folks. Did I get parts? It's running. All of that earlier, I was just moving around. It's a little weird. It's fine. Losing any sleep, but I figured you probably would have been like, you know, like falling down to do this stuff. Here we go. On the head. Are you folks? Here we go. And now the ride basically begins. I like that interconnectivity. That's pretty good. Breaking that brief. Ooh. That was probably something I wasn't expecting. Should I eat that? Should I get more money? We'll take it and see. Not bad. Not bad. And ride done. 4.40, which is about what it was going to be. Now let's see what that looks like here on that side of things, which is this little heavy button here on the testing side of that thing. And it's actually not that scary or even that nice. No, how much money will I make? Let's find out. Custom bargain. Well, that's a lot of cash. That's bringing me like all the money. 100 per rod. That is just obscenely good. That's right. Alright. Up and down the wall. That's just nasty. Alright, also one of the things you will notice that I did over here, in addition to naming it, was to give our colors scheme here to that nice bright teal. Dark blue and some copper blues on the sides too. Alright, so now that's done, do I have enough time for another flat ride? Or do I just want to build up like that? Or just go ahead and start to build a camera for that. Because that's going to probably be some good stuff. You can see over here. Why is that closed? Yeah, oh, maybe it was because I moved it, or accidentally when I was trying to place that shot like that. Sorry. Yeah, you can see nobody's riding over here too. That's a little weird. That's been like that for a while. It also rose up the cost of river trek by $4. Alright. I was looking at placing cameras here too. This little button here that says add-ons is where you're to do that. But unfortunately, on this just no option. But here, there actually should be. You just go to that button. And add on camera, photo, and that's everything. I see we have about another 25 minutes. So I might have enough time to do that. Actually, I won't think about it. Just right here. We'll add it right now and think about it. Try to find a good place to put it. coverage. Hold on, moving around from there. Yeah, I think probably would be the ideal place right here. That would work. Just cancel it and see. I'll try to cancel it and see. And I'll add it here. I'll just continue. Actually, that didn't work either, right? Good there. That's very strong. Trying to find a good place to get to it. And that sort of a thing too. To get over here is probably going to be a great photo. And that sort of a thing too. But that pass, there we are. Keep there. Ooh, that's nasty. 10-10. Yeah, that's going to be great. Another place. But toss a camera right down here, which would be great. Opportunity to get that money in on a very, very popular ride at more than $100. That's going to be awesome per person. So here, I'm going to, sorry, let's zoom in a little bit, so I'm not beside that. And that's everything too with the camera section. Facilities, here, can just, so what we're going to do here is we're just going to go here to the shops here, and we're going to pull out create custom. I thought I create custom. That just did not work. Right? This is it in the shops section. This is one right here. To the photo kiosks. For your folks, we will just go ahead and zoom in. We'll place it right here. For your folks. Select this to select all. Sorry, preview. Yep. Well, let's change it over to reframe photos. See how much I mistyping things. That's really alright. Now that that's done, we will connect the right that button there too. Confirm. And now they will be selling here for. That's a great card. For a not bad. That sort of thing too. Now let's theme that to what's there too. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, I might want to move it over a little bit, because it'll be right there in the middle of that, right? If I move it over, it's just right here. It'll be fine, AD&D. Alright. And now let's theme that. Fast and happy. For you folks so you can see that. This will be in the scenery section. Scenery section. Oh, it's a lot of clicks. Sorry about that. This is the one we're using over here. For the ones. And this is a small shot for you folks. And then I'm going to show you a trick of this. So here is the direction this is going to be to. I'll see how I'm going to try to place this here. Get this all nice and lined up for you folks. Zoom in a little bit. Make sure it's over the end. And lined up. Alright. Now once that's done, you see how it moved back to the original side. You got to turn it again. Just a heads up. Now that that's done, we'll go ahead and decorate that with some photos. Signs. Photos a little looking here. Yep. Put a couple of photo signs there. We both will take care of for you. So that's nice. It's photo. It's a photo. It's a ride photo camera problem. It's treatable too. So that's not what I'm looking for. Basically, it's these signs. So this one looks good. Can I get that a little bigger? Yeah. The wrong direction. Yeah, that works. Much better. Now we're going to place a little decor there too, just to show it. Leave it with a little nice. I like that. It's nice. Look at that. The little kiosk scenes. Some little as well. I'll get some. I did good. Then over here, turn that around a little bit. Have it sort of tilt to the other direction. For this. A little less. It's good. A little less turn. Alright, there you go. I'll save that for you folks, and every time we got about another 18 minutes. I can definitely done that before you folks went over here. Alright. That's it. Brief break, but confirm. Great stuff. Zoom. Alright, come back over to here. Oh, not that way. To put a flat. What I could do, like I was mentioning before, I actually put this flat ride over there. Initially, before my stuff was stopped and canceled, because it didn't record. Well, that's a good thing too. I'm going to have a quick soda pop. Yeah, but I probably could still do it right here. I'd probably really increase those rides and that sort of intersectionality too. I think it might not be the bad idea. Worst idea. So let's commit. Also, one thing you will notice too that I talked about before is that we have our support right there in the middle of the path, but they will rotate. And I just double checked last night, and they even need that back. Alright, let's go ahead and add another flat ride right for you folks. Something that's going to be a little wet, something that's going to feel Atlantean and aquatic for you folks. Let's just do a little zoom in and see what I can come up with. Flat rides. So this one, I'm sorry. And then search for aquatic. Just a few different themes. They're basically two. Definitely make total sense here too. The first one is this forage. And the aquatic forage, it's got great numbers already base. And then with the decorating up the aquatic side of things, where you can definitely get something like Kraken or even octopus, right? That's sort of the thing too. If I just want to do up some more of a generic, underwater stuff like Kraken or Scylla, record this or something like that. So we can definitely do that too. And that will make money. Probably lots of money. And then also here's the aquatic buoyancy. And for you folks, this as with the name of buoyancy, I don't know what it would look like, and that's sort of the thing too. But I can also do that too, but I'm definitely feeling more much. Let's not know. I think that silver code distribution will also make sense. So that's that's a little larger than I was expecting it to be. Also, we couldn't put it there. and then have a line up to it. We might be able to do it like this, having them come up, because the entrance and the exit aren't there in the place. So I was expecting that to be. That's a bigger road. So could I build the points there? Probably. It's a smaller rod though. I'm not sure that I really want to make that a feature here too. Let's zoom in. It is smaller in size and style too, as you can see right here for you folks, but I'm not sure that would actually work. I'm not sure I would actually have enough space. I don't want to have that be on that road for that roof break out. Although I could move it if I needed to. Raise that. I could put it. Actually, we could have put a little bit like there. With that one. Probably. Remember, I need themes that make sense, not just, the best rides for that area. That's why all of the ones in the all ages had to have fairy tale style of stuff. Like, there was an all ages one, drop towers that I just couldn't build because they were, not, even though they were all ages, because I could, and I could name them something like, very, very fun. They just didn't. Alright, that's what. Let's try it over here. That's probably a little too deep. That one? Is that a little too? It's a little too in the weeds with that. That might get into the way of some of that stuff too. From that. So I'll probably pull it out a little bit. How about here? Let's see that. Trying to get it away from the wall from here, so it's not in the way of that. And actually, if I could put it this way, actually no, it's a flat. It's square. Sorry, do some zooming in, make sure that works from all the different directions. Yeah, that's probably fun to do. Let's try it out, see what works. We'll do some testing here, too. Place the entrances and all that stuff, too. For your folks now, just do some zooming in. Yeah, it's not that bad. It doesn't look like it's in that many places in the water, like the ride isn't in the water. And it's over here too. I don't see any issues there too, nor do I see any issues like over getting in its way. What about up here? Not really. So that's nice. It's a good place. Now for you folks. And then let's go ahead and connect. And then we'll actually do some testing of it too. You can see that even stuff that doesn't have big numbers on our theme can make it a lot. That's the thing too. So this starts at 2.2. But we'll see where our one's at. Right down here. For you folks. Actually, the first thing I need to do is going to be moving this bathroom. Actually, we're losing a little bit. There we are. Oops, that did not work. It's there in the middle of that water slide. That's right. For you folks. Alright. So let's go ahead and move this over here. It's a water filter. So here should probably do it. Actually, it's a water filter. I don't know too far. It's not powerful. So can I move it over here, get it a little closer to that thing too? I'll toss it over here. I'll come back to that. Dude, that's just gotta stop it. Alright, how about here? That works. And then here, let's place the path and test it out. Here, we're going to go, and this is a regular path. For you folks, we're going to move from this to my regular path here, too, which is the mosaic. Which is the path I like. So we're going to start off with the exit. did I not say? No, I did copy the texture, but not the colors. Sorry about that. That was not what I was looking for. Alright. So, we'll just come over to here. And copy this. Actually, it does there. I feel like it. No, that's the path I go. Copy the existing texture for you folks. Sorry about that. No, we'll just go ahead there. I can just sting you with that, make that over, get that to me. There. Good. Same over here. It's weird that that's a little not lined up there, folks. Does that work on getting you off the path? Yeah, I'll just go ahead. I'm not sure that works. So, it's a little off the grid. So what I'll do here instead is I'll just go ahead and delete it and replace it. That should go over here to pass again. Just delete it. This is normal. It did come off. Sorry about that. It's fine. We'll just get it placed and be good to go. It's still in a square. Sorry about that. Weird. Now we'll be going back over to the wall. Oh, that's it. Okay. That's done. We're going to go over here for the cube. And there aren't that many cubes here, so we just grab a quick one here, like this. So, geez. So, we're using this letter. As we're looking to, so this is the path we're using over here. So I just really have a good option for you folks. And it looks like when I'm placing it here, it doesn't look polygon. I can't really think it's strict on that. It's even to make sure it's even. So I'll just go place it and get that taken care of. But do I like that? Do I dislike that? That's a different color than the normal one. I just like it. Yeah, I want to go ahead and change that to it. So if folks, go to that expensive, we get time. That's the weird fun, like I do. Now we'll just change its colors. We'll copy the colors here. This cube over here. And then I'll check in and do the things, open it up, do all that stuff too. Make sure it's all in a good place. Now that that's done, let's open it up too. After doing the test, here we go. One, see? De-acquired. So here we go. For you folks. It's actually finished testing. That was very, very fast. Sorry about that. I'll just show you something like this. Maybe that was weird. Never existed. Some sort of wall of machines. Yeah. That's definitely something we would want to have section apart is the water, flavored wine, and that sort of thing. I could call someone Atlantic and die. Let's do it. There's some emphasis on the diver side of things. Let's try. Let's see if that works. In the diver side of things here. We'll come back. Because that's not litter. It's not come back. There might be like something that's more the range style stuff. No? Let's check on it. Let's see what it looks like now that we got all the stuff. Let's open it, see what kind of one we get. That's all I can actually. All the cameras. Thank you. Alrighty. And as you can see, we're about ready to run out of time. We got about another 4 minutes for you folks. And so we'll go ahead and stop the timer. I have a timer from for all these Let's Plays for you folks. And then since I have a few minutes here, about 4, I do want to toss down some bags. And that's everything too here. Also probably want to put a bathroom right there too, maybe some more drinks and some stalls. And that's sort of a thing too while doing all that stuff. So that's also going to come down the pipe too, just as a head of it. That's stuff taken care of. And then I probably want to theme that ride over here too. For you folks, actually 4 minutes, I can definitely move that. For you folks, let's give it some different colors. Fast. For you folks. I don't think it's in a couple minutes. Paint the track. Here we're going. That's a custom made. Bright teal. Make it like that. I typically don't change the colors of my coasters from anything like that, or flat or something like that. So I think that would probably be somebody's for this specific. Carriage in the front. So we're going to change this. Actually, what color? It's actually that is teal. So we think let's put that on there already. That's all right. That's not bad. Let's make it a little tealer. Makes sense. Actually, sure, here's what I'm actually doing something a little different, just to make sure if I don't want to keep this for you folks. I'm going to copy this first, and then we'll take that sort of thing, that too, and then cancel out that too, because that way it feels like too. It's actually this too, probably. Yeah, it is. It's the default one, I can't read. Change to go back to the custom stuff. I think I probably want something a bit brighter than the basic. That's the way I chose for it. Yes, it does it. All the theming in the world will help us out. I think a lot. Very folks. I'll just swap all these base teals into that brighter. I'll get that brighter teal works. Nicely. Short scissors. Oops, sorry. I hit the Windows button. And still. Back to the game. It does happen. I'm not sure. There we are, that's right. That's nice. Bright teal. Nice choice. And then remember, once I've done that, I can go square and keep that pass. For you folks, not bad at all. Then this will be the dark teal. And for folks, over here on this side of things, and we'll also do some teal here too. Great, not that teal. 1, 2. 12 would be good. The dark teal and those copper. The other ones here. Perfect. Take a look at myself. Or if I want to make sure that's the official darker teal. It's a little brighter too. It's a different one that I also grabbed too. It's not something else. It actually is the dark teal here. It's a little dark. It's a little differently flavored and that sort of thing too. That custom through. Copper to okay. Just down here, like that. That's where it functions. Main section and it has things. So that will be this carriage, which is now an orange. That looks. Also down here too. It's a dark blue. Again, that is a default blue here too. But we'll go ahead and change that to a little darker teal. And that's where we'll change this one right here. Also dark blue. Weird. Sorry about that. Now that that's good, now we'll swap over the rest of that stuff to the compromise. I was trying to find a gold throw. Is it in gold? So that copper pretty much it. But I do think that gold works with that white teal. I think it's a good combo. And we'll finish it up real fast. 40 seconds. Here. And that's it. CD right here. Remember that because that's key to these numbers. No. I'm sure you guys will care. Look around. Looks like here there are still some parts of it that are a little on the yellow, like Landians like that. I think it's going to be too much of an issue. Alright, there you are. And I hope you guys enjoyed that so very, very much for you. And I hope you really sort of, enjoyed this expansion of that coaster and this diver and that sort of a thing with you. And the ride photos that I also report to and enjoyed that all up and down the blocks. Right? And so after that, we'll hopefully, eventually we'll be finishing out this Atlanta section, although we're getting pretty close to themes. Actually would make sense for it. But I got tons more. For example, if you take a look here, even about all the coast, all the flumes, all 7 of them, there are still some track rides, which are going to be more of this. Here are the water rides, and that's the other thing too. You can see here. Sorry, that's the track. That's the ones where we worry about these are. I'm on the ones with the coast. Here, without the coast. Water rides. And so we got 3 water river rapids of this wide log flume. Got new log flume. So there are 3 water rides that I can still add. And this probably would be a good place to have that. That sort of a thing to get that stuff taken care of. Right for you folks. And so that's also coming down the pike too, so we got lots of that and that sort of a thing too. As well, more coasters and more flat rides too. Will it make sense? And then we'll move on. Alright, but there you go. And that's what's coming down the pike. I've enjoyed that so very, very much. And I don't know what your thoughts are too. I'm happy to sort of engage you further right all up and down the blocks for you folks. And then I just want to thank you. So very, very much, for just taking some time out here and even investing and watching my videos, right? Because we have so many things that are happening in our lives, right? And we're pulled in so many different directions too. So in fact, you spent this time with me. That's incredibly humbling, and I appreciate that so very, very much. So thanks again. And have an amazing day.